Hey everyone, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming and our series of creepypastas. Today we're taking a look at creepypastas from a franchise that we haven't really discussed much on our channel before, Mega Man. So without any hesitation, let's jump right in. Starting us off is the Yellow Devil. The Yellow Devil begins with the author stating how much he loves Mega Man as a character. Now back when he was a kid, he managed to play through Mega Man 2 to Mega Man 8, and had searched long and hard for a copy of the very first Mega Man title. Years later, after Mega Man 8 had come out, he found himself in an old video game shop, looking to buy a copy of Super Mario World for his older brother as a moving out present. That's when he spotted it in the corner of his eye, Mega Man 1. Now from the looks of it, it wasn't in the best of shape. The cover art was almost completely ripped off, and the title was filled in with marker on the cartridge. Now it didn't cost much, so he decided he'd go and buy it. But at the checkout, when the clerk picked it up to run it through, the clerk froze and dropped the cartridge. When the author asked what was wrong, the clerk just said, "Take it," and gave it to him for free. When the author asked why, the clerk, who now looked totally petrified, could only muster out the words, "Yellow Devil." The author, confused, took it anyway, and as soon as he got home, popped the cartridge into his old NES. The game loaded up fine, and the author got real excited when the cartridge proved to work, the title screen appearing. But the second he pressed start, weird things began to happen. A loud screeching noise came out of the game with a picture of a red eye appearing, lasting for about a split second. Strange. Afterwards, the stage select screen appeared. Here, the 6 Robot Masters were visible: Cutman, Gutsman, Electman, Bombman, and Iceman. Except the background behind them was entirely black, and each of them had bright red eyes that seemed to glow. The author decided to try Cutman first, having heard that he was the easiest to defeat. He selected the Robot Master. The screen then flickered some text, "Leave now," but then loaded up like everything should, so the author just kind of shrugged it off and played. There were no enemies, no bottomless pits. It was very strange. Theme music began to distort, and eventually he reached Cutman. But before the fight began, Cutman said, "Mega Man, get out, or it will catch you and take you along with it." The author began the fight, but noticed something weird throughout. Yellow blobs had appeared and seemed to be attacking Cutman, one even engulfing him at one point. That's when Cutman began to squirm, and the author swore he heard screaming muffled behind the game's music. He watched as Cutman was suffocated to death, crushed, and then torn apart by this strange yellow mass. The game then returned to the stage select screen. This time, all of the Robot Masters were gone, with the only option being to select Dr. Wily's castle. So the author did, but when it loaded up, the sky was blood red, the castle was destroyed and covered in flames, and as he walked forward, he discovered the torn up remains of the Doctor. Text appeared that read, "Why didn't you save us? It's going to kill you, turn back now." Yellow blobs then appeared, forming a large demonic looking creature. All it said was, "I am the Yellow Devil. No one can escape me." The screeching noise the author had witnessed earlier came back, louder this time, and lasted throughout his entire fight with the Yellow Devil. Every yellow blob that hit Mega Man made him slower and slower until finally he couldn't move, and was swallowed whole by the Yellow Devil. The player shut off the game. For years afterwards, all the author could dream about was the Yellow Devil. In every dream, he was attacked by blobs and swallowed whole, all while he had to watch Mega Man suffocate and be torn apart. The dream would always end with the screeching noise filling his head getting louder and louder, and him seeing his own body, mangled and lifeless, with a red eye staring at him in the distance. Moving on to our next creepypasta, Mega Man 4 Complete. This creepypasta follows a guy who was a retro video game collector and had managed to collect the entire Mega Man series of NES titles, except for Mega Man 4. Now one day he decided to go on eBay and just buy it online to finish the set. He had played the game before, but lost his copy a long time ago. Now after ordering it, it arrived at his house within a few days, and he decided for old time's sake that he would just pop it into his NES and give it a go. Now everything seemed normal at first, it ran quite smoothly. Our protagonist decided to choose the Toadman stage. That's when he noticed that Mega Man looked a little bit more bulky than he remembered. Figuring it was just a graphics thing, he continued onwards. Everything was okay until he reached the boss fight at its end. The screen became quite pixelated, and he could hardly see what was happening. Toadman used his rain attack and killed him in one hit. Annoyed, the protagonist of our story decided since he wasn't far in the game that he'd just take the cartridge out, clean it, and restart. After doing that, he beat Toadman, but his victory was unexpected. Text on the screen appeared that read, "You have grown stronger, Mega Man," and Mega Man's sprite grew in size. Weird. He continued onward, hitting up the stage directly beside Toadman. Drillman. When he used an energy tank halfway through this stage, his health completely depleted instead of giving him full health. Was this some sort of hacked cartridge? He managed to play through the stage again with his victory over Drillman stating, "Your Mega Blaster has been upgraded." Alright, that seemed new. As he worked his way through the remaining stages, Mega Man would continue to grow bigger in size, until finally, he finished the game. Strange text appeared that read, "Congratulations, your armor and weapons are at their full power. You are truly a Mega Man." That's when something petrifying happened. Mega Man's color began to distort. He turned to the protagonist, locking eyes with him through the screen, and then aimed his buster outwards, firing. The next thing the protagonist knew, he woke up on the floor 5 hours later. There was static on his television, and his copy of Mega Man 4 was back in the box. But the box art was different. It was the larger Mega Man, his colors distorted, shooting his buster towards the protagonist, with Dr. Light in a noose hanging off of a tower. And last but not least, our final creepypasta, Mega Man 2 Ladder to Hell. Brandon Eriks was a 26-year-old who took his own life. This story follows his brother, who would soon find out the reason why his brother, a seemingly happy individual, would commit suicide, without leaving the slightest hint of a letter or reasoning behind. Our protagonist, who was named Aaron, arrived at the house Brandon was renting to go through his things. That's where he and his parents found a will that Brandon had written up crudely. While he had left most of his valuables and finances to his parents, Aaron, our author, was given his NES and his games. Now that night, in memory of Brandon, he plugged in the old NES. But to his surprise, when he opened up the box of games, there was only one cartridge inside, a copy of Mega Man 2 in mint condition. His disappointment quickly turned to joy. Having played all of the more recent Mega Man games, he couldn't wait to dive into this one, all while ignoring any questions that popped into his head about why his brother only had one game, and one that was in mint condition. He turned on the game, and it was everything he could have ever wanted. He decided to go for Woodman first, even though he knew that most went after Metal Man first in order to get the metal blades. Everything was normal as he played through, having a great time. But midway through the level, he discovered something odd. When hitting a series of specific button commands, Mega Man could enter a wall and disappear, but still be in the player's control. Thinking he stumbled upon a new glitch, Aaron got excited and tried to recreate it after he respawned. Nothing happened. After about 5-6 minutes of trying to make the glitch occur again, he finally managed to get himself inside a nearby wall. As he navigated, he discovered that he would drop down a ladder of sorts that he couldn't see, and then hear the dying sound effect. So he jokingly nicknamed this new glitch the Ladder to Hell. After he used up his 3 lives testing out the glitch, he expected to be returned to the title screen, but that was not the case. Instead, he was greeted by a dark screen for about 10 seconds, followed by Mega Man's head appearing in the middle of the screen. And now it looked like the 1-up graphic, except Mega Man's helmet was off, and he had red hair, and his face was stern, emotionless, not smiling like he usually does. Worst of all were his eyes. They were black with no white or pupils or anything. After about 20 seconds of this and nothing happening, the face just smiled. Aaron was spooked. Text appeared on the screen, "Thanks for the help, Buffy," and disappeared after about 3 seconds. Aaron didn't get it. He could have sworn that he had heard that name before in real life, but was unsure of where. Now figuring this was some sort of hidden screen put in the game by Capcom to scare off hackers who had managed to find glitches and screw around with them, he decided to shake off the experience and try a different stage, this time going for Metal Man. It took him a minute to realize that something was up. There were no enemies populating the level, and when he got to the boss room, Metal Man was nowhere to be found. Instead, text appeared that read, "You're too late, Sap." Weird. Zap also had an air of familiarity to it, but he couldn't figure out why. All of a sudden he was brought back to the level select screen, except this time all of the Robot Masters were lying on the ground dead. The only option that he had was to select one of the Dr. Wily levels. When he did, it too was barren, empty of foes. He reached the end of the stage. Now to his surprise, there was another Mega Man there, reminiscent of the Mega Man face that he had seen earlier. Wily was there too, on his hands and knees begging for mercy, just like he does when you defeat him. This evil Mega Man looked down at him and shook his head. That's when he charged his buster, pointed at Wily. The screen went black, and an 8-bit scream poured out of Aaron's speakers. Then this evil Mega Man's head faded in, set in the middle of the screen. It began communicating with him via text. "Hello, Sap," it read. A keyboard appeared on the screen, a response feature. Aaron started to write it a message. "What are you doing?" It responded, "Oh what, I can't play with my favorite Buffy?" Aaron asked, "Why do you keep calling me that?" It responded, "You honestly don't remember? Typical." Aaron then asked, "Who are you?" And the machine responded, "Here I was thinking we were brothers, Aaron." That's when it hit him. Buffy was the name that he had called Brandon as a toddler when he couldn't pronounce the word brother. And Sap? Well, Brandon had started calling him Sap as a joke when they were kids. They continued their conversation. Brandon told Aaron to kill himself. Aaron was absolutely baffled. "What?" he asked. Brandon then admitted that he had cursed the gifts that he had given their whole family in his will, having felt that he was never loved by their parents because Aaron was the favorite. That's when Aaron heard it, the sound of a buster charging up. Next thing he knew, he woke up in the hospital 2 weeks later. The creepypasta ends with Aaron admitting that he felt terrible for causing his brother's death and his parents' unhappiness. It's revealed that the whole story was actually his suicide note, and that he can't take living anymore. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these 3 Mega Man themed creepypastas was your favorite? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more creepypastas just like this one. In the meantime though, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.